My son was a major, U.S. Army. Lost him in Iraq. Service Medal, Bronze Star, like you all about country. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
And while his son did not lose his life directly in combat, as they did.
The war in Iraq and the impact on oil and what Russia's doing, the war in Ukraine. And thinking of Iraq because that's where my son died. Because he died.
And while his son did not lose his life directly in combat, as they did.
Just imagine, I mean it sincerely. I say this as a father of a man who won the Bronze Star, the Conspicuous Service Medal, and lost his life in Iraq. Imagine the courage, the daring, and the genuine sacrifice they all made.
And while his son did not lose his life directly in combat, as they did.
There seems no end to Joe Biden using Beau's memory to his own advantage. And so people don't like that.
Like my son, so many went incredibly fit and came home dizzy and having trouble, and so many had brain cancer. My son came home with stage 4 glioblastoma, and he passed away. But here's what we did. Up to now, we don't pay any attention to this. We haven't done anything for it. And we had, I guess I was in about 34, 35 times in Afghanistan and Iraq. And you were at Camp Victory where my son was at camp. His hooch was only about a couple hundred yards from that burn pit. And he came home with stage 4. He went as the healthiest guy in his division, not division, his regiment, and came home with stage 4 glioblastoma. His hooch where he lived in Baghdad was next to a burn pit. Just like those folks in 9/11, that were exposed to all that toxic. Well, guess what? They burn everything in those burn pits, from oil to human feces to everything. And he breathed that in for a year, and he died. More people are coming home with brain cancer. Glioblastoma is a death sentence. He made it for 19 months when he got home, but that was it. And guess what? We had one of those soldiers was my son, Major Beau Biden. I don't know for sure if the burn pit that he lived near, that his hooch was near, in Iraq and earlier than that in Kosovo, is the cause of his brain cancer, the disease of so many other troops. My son Beau was Attorney General of Delaware and won the Bronze Star in Iraq, and dealing with being deployed overseas for a long time. For a year, he came back with glioblastoma. He died. But you know what? The fact is that, and I was hospitalized a long time. I had a couple of years ago, cranial aneurysm. Was hospitalized for a long time. But it even impressed my son, Beau Biden, Major Biden. He's passed, but it impressed him. He used to kid me about it. He'd come home and pretend to salute me. But at any rate, all kidding aside, as we meet the thousands of patriotic troops that are serving around in harm's way,